Hello everybody. So today we're gonna set two goals for Jaylene. One's gonna be an academic goal, and the other one, well, actually, they're both gonna be academic goals. One's gonna be for her reading, and the other one is just for her to make sure she's keeping track of her completing her stations, because she's been having a little bit of a hard time completing her stations within the week. So we'll be creating those two goals. One, we're going to be using her data for iStation, and we're going to decide what area she needs to work on to get better in that skill in order for her to be a successful reader. And the other one is just going over on for her to track how to track her stations that are being completed by using a checklist. All right. So are you ready, Jaylene? Yes? Okay. So I was looking at your iStation data, okay? And I used your information from this month, okay, from February. Even though we know March is coming, okay? But we always have to work throughout the month to get better in order for us to do better on the next test, right? So I was looking at your information, and you're doing pretty well. You're on tier 2. We want to work hard to try to get to tier 1. But for you to get to tier 1, you have to start going into tier 1 in the areas that are yellow. And you have a lot of yellow. That means you're very close to my goal points. But you're a little bit under. That's what's keeping you from getting to tier 1. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you there? Yes, because it's something that we discuss all the time, right? Okay, so I noticed that you're growing. You are growing in the first 3 areas, which is your letter knowledge, your phonemic awareness, and your alphabetic decoding. That means you're able to tell me the letter names and sounds. You're able to sound out words and pick the correct picture for those words. You're able to rhyme. You're able to tell me what you hear at the beginning of the word and at the end of the word. You're awesome at that. But then, when it comes to spelling and vocabulary, that's where you're having a hard time. Because if you can't spell, at the level you need to be at, it's going to be very hard for you to understand the vocabulary words they're giving you. Okay? So that means you're going to have a hard time reading the stories on the test. Okay? Janaya, so you need to get to work, please. So, let's do iStation first. Okay? By looking at your spelling and vocabulary. Okay? Which of those 2 do you want to work on and make a goal to get better? So in the coming months, your points start going up, so you can eventually get into tier 1, and you can get out of this red zone that you're in tier 3 in your reading. Which of the 2 you want to work on? You have spelling and vocabulary. Spelling is where they tell you words, and you have to pick the letters to make that word. Or vocabulary, that's when they give you 4 pictures, and they tell you pick the picture that shows you what brave looks like, or pick the picture that shows you what does it look like when something is above. That's the vocabulary. The spelling, remember, they tell you the word, for example, like farm, and you have to pick the letters to build the word farm. So which one do you want to work on first? Spelling or vocabulary? On spelling? Okay, so let's see. So let's start setting our goal, okay? We're gonna write 2 on your goals, on your SMART goal handout, okay? So right now, we're in the third 9 weeks, okay? So I want you to check off third 9 weeks. Put a little check mark on that. Okay, now, since it's reading, okay, we're gonna check off the subject for reading. So the first one. Okay, now, let's think of the goal. I want you to think and say the word I will. When you say I will, I want you to tell me what you want to work on. So say I will. I will what? What is your goal? Remember, we're talking about iStation right now. So I will work on, what was the one you're you picked from your iStation information, which is what?
Spelling.
Spelling. So I will work. So let's write work. Okay, or remember, you can only do one of those, okay? Once you're done, you can go read quietly. To south, please. And then k like in kite. Okay, let's read it together. I will work on that says no. Remember, on. Okay, I will, let's read it together. I will work on spelling. So let's write the word spelling. And you have it right here on your data. Spelling. Now, let's see, what are some ways I'm going to help you make sure you're working on your spelling, okay? So let's check off unit assessments. That's when we do the test in our cloud book for foundation, because in there we have to spell words, right? So check off that one. I'm going to check your tests that we're going to have very soon. And then, you know how we have our writing time, right? That's where we write things about ourselves or things about anything that I tell you, like a prompt, like I tell you, I want you to write to me about your family, for example. You have to write and spell, right? Okay, so let's check off writing samples. And usually it's the one during writing time and in stations, okay? And then check off conference with teacher. That's when you're gonna come to my table when I work with you one-to-one to make sure you're on the right track when it comes to writing and spelling words. And also, when we have to check to make sure if your goal is if you're reaching your goal or not, okay? And then these two other ones, we don't have to check those off because that's for something else. But you know what I want to put here? I remember, I'm going to put other, okay? I remember that remember when I had that interview to find out what you like and don't like and how you like to learn, the ways that you like to learn things. And I remember that in your information, and I have it right here, you had said that you liked using the computer, okay? So I want to use things that you like, okay? Aside from me giving you other things to use to help you for your spelling, okay? So let's write computer here. And I have it right here, the word computer, C-O-M-P-U-T-E-R. C-O-M. P U T E R, and then right here you're gonna put apps. Put A-P-P S. And what I mean by computer apps is I'm gonna make sure you're going on to iStation to practice your spelling. And you know that other program we use, ABC? Yeah? Look at me, right? There's some games in there that you can use by moving letters around to spell words. So I know it's a game, so that's gonna catch your attention a lot because you like to play games, because that's something that I learned from you on how you like to learn by playing games. Okay? So we're gonna look at your tests. We're gonna look at your writing samples in the stations, and when we do writing time, okay, when you meet with me, we'll make sure you're on the right track for writing. You're gonna come and talk with me, okay, and we're gonna work together, okay, and then we're gonna use computer apps that will help you on your spelling, okay. Now the other one I wanted to work with you on is, I noticed that you're having a little bit of a hard time completing your stations. You're getting stuck, okay. Is there a reason why you're getting stuck, or why you're not completing your stations? You don't know? Is it kind of like, have you been like, um, is there something that's stopping you from trying to finish your work? What do you think it is?
That people are stopping.
To you, or you're just hearing people talk?
Hear people talk.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, on your goals, on your SMART goal, I'm gonna add another one down here. I will, okay, work on completing my stations, okay? Because I notice you're falling a little bit behind on that, and I don't want you to fall behind because it's things that you need to practice on, okay? I will work on completing stations. Okay, because remember, every week you have 5 stations to do, and if I notice that you guys are having a hard time finishing it, I usually give you a couple of more days the following week. Okay? But I can see that you're not having a hard time with your stations, it's just kind of maybe focusing a little bit. And for that one, I'm gonna check off, let's see here, right here where it says writing samples, but it says stations, okay?
So now you're going to copy.
And then also you're gonna conference with me on that to make sure that you are completing your stations, okay? You understand that part? And also I'm gonna check off behavior skills or a plan. The reason I wanna, it's not, has nothing to do with your behavior, because you behave very well and you try your best. But also, part of being behavior is making sure you complete your work. Okay, so right here I'm gonna put complete work, just so I know that that's specifically what I'm trying to look at and help you with, okay? Does this make sense, Katie? Yes, so does the one for spelling make sense to you? On how we're gonna help you with your spelling? And does this one that I helped you create, completing stations, do you understand why I wanna keep track of that? Okay, because I wanna make sure that there's nothing that's stopping you from finishing your work, aside from maybe hearing people talk. Okay, which is not very often here, but usually everybody's working and stuff, so I'm gonna see where your attention's going to. Okay, so let's just, the last part, sign your name here.
First, start inside, because you need to do the name. Out.
Okay, and then I'm gonna sign my name. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a starting date. Okay, so I'm gonna put the date that we're gonna start on. Okay, and then we're gonna make sure, and we're gonna check on March is coming very soon. So I'm gonna put the month of March, and then I'm gonna check, I'm gonna give you till about the 5th. Because that gives you plenty of time to do several activities for spelling and try to work on finishing your stations, okay? And then I'm gonna check on you 2 times. Okay, for your spelling, I might do a little test spelling, like a little spelling test or maybe a spelling bee to see if you're on the right track. Okay, and I will be giving you activities on what words to practice spelling on. Okay, and then every day I'm gonna check your checklist to make sure you're completing at least or working on a station and not falling behind. Okay, and if you're doing good, we'll check off you're meeting your goal. And if you need more time, I'm gonna put not meeting your goal because you're still trying to get better at it. Yes? Does that sound awesome? Do you understand what your goals are? Do you understand what you need to work on? Okay? Awesome.